transport in Belgium is facilitated with well-developed road, air, rail and water networks. The rail network has 2,950 kilometers of electrified tracks. There are 118,414 kilometers of roads, among which there are 1,747 kilometers of motorways, 13,892 kilometers of main roads and 102,775 kilometers of other paved roads. There is also a well-developed urban rail network in Brussels, Antwerp and Charleroi. The ports of Antwerp and Bruges-Zeebrugge are two of the biggest seaports in Europe. Brussels Airport is Belgium's biggest airport. Railways. Rail transport in Belgium was historically managed by the National Railway Company of Belgium, known as SNCB in French and NMBS in Dutch. In 2005, the public company was split into two companies, Infrabel, which manages the rail network, and SNCB NMBS itself, which manages the freight and passenger services. Both companies are held by a third company, named SNCB NMBS Holding. There is a total of 3,536 kilometers double track, of which 2,950 kilometers are electrified, mainly at 3,000 volts DC, but with 351 kilometers at 25 kilovolts 50 Hz AC in all on standard gauge of 1,435 millimeters. In 2004, the National Railway Company of Belgium carried 178.4 million passengers, a total of 8,676 million passenger kilometers. Due to the high population density, operations are relatively profitable, so tickets are cheap and the frequency of services is high. The SNCB NMBS is continually updating its rolling stock. The network currently includes 4 high-speed lines, 3 operating up to 300 km per hour and 1 up to 260 km per hour. HSL1 runs from just south of Brussels to the French border, where it continues to Lille, and from there to Paris or London. HSL2 runs from Leuven to Liège. HSL3 continues this route from Liège to the German border near Aachen. HSL4 runs from Antwerp to Rotterdam by meeting HSL-Zuid at the border with Netherlands. Electrification is at 3 kV DC, with the exception of the new high-speed lines, and of 2 recently electrified lines in the south of the country which are at 25 kV AC. Trains, contrary to tram and road traffic, run on the left. Rail links with adjacent countries. France. Voltage change 3 kV DC 25 kV AC LGV1. Voltage remains at 25 kV AC. Via France to the UK on HSL1 LGV1. Channel tunnel and control. Voltage remains at 25 kV AC. Germany. Voltage change 3 kV DC 15 kV AC HSL3. Voltage remains at 25 kV AC. Netherlands. Voltage change 3 kV DC 1500 volts DC HSL-Zuid. Voltage remains at 25 kV AC. Luxembourg. No voltage change at the border. Urban rail and urban commuter rail network. Brussels IER is currently being set up the capital. It was initially supposed to be in service in 2012, but some observers expect it not to be ready before 2019. Metros and light rail in Belgium. An extensive system of tram-like local railways called Wissel-Spoorlines crossed the country in the first first half of the 20th century, and had a greater route length than the mainline railway system. The only survivors of the Wisnal-Boortspoor system are the Kustram and some sections of the Charleroi pre-metro. Urban tram networks exist in Antwerp, Ghent and Brussels, and are gradually being extended. The only rapid transit system in Belgium is the Brussels Metro. Some heavy metro infrastructures were built in Brussels, Antwerp and the Charleroi area, but these are currently used by light rail vehicles, and their conversion to full metro is not envisaged at present due to lack of funds. Regional transport in Belgium is operated by regional companies. De Lijn in Flanders operates the Kustram and the Antwerp pre-metro as well as a bus network. Tech in Wallonia operates the Charleroi pre-metro as well as a bus network, and MIVB SDIB in the Brussels capital region operates the Brussels Metro, as well as the Brussels tram and bus network. Despite this regional organization, some bus and tram routes operated by SDIB, MIVB go beyond the regional border, and some bus routes operated by Tech de Lijn transport passengers from the Flemish Walloon regions to the capital city. Road transport. Road network. The road network in Belgium is managed by regional authorities, meaning that a road section in Flanders is managed by the Flemish government, a road section in Brussels by the Brussels government, and a road section in Wallonia by the Walloon government. This explains that road signs in Flanders are written in Dutch, even when referring to a Walloon region, and conversely, which can be confusing for foreigners who do not know the different translations of Flemish Walloon cities in the other language. The road network in Belgium is made of highways, national roads and communal roads. Communal roads are managed at the municipal level. There are also a number of orbital roads in Belgium around major cities. Total 152,256 kilometers. Country comparison to the world. 35. Paved 119,079 kilometers. Unpaved 33,177 kilometers. Belgian road numbering evolved during the middle decades of the 20th century in a relatively inconsistent way. Road number allocations became less systematic during the surge in road building that took place in the 1960s and 70s. Frequently downgraded and deteriorating older national roads retained two-digit numbers, while newer major roads were identified with less instantly memorable three-digit numbers, if only because the shorter numbers were already taken. 1985 saw a comprehensive renumbering of the N roads, which now followed the scheme described below. Highways. The highways in Belgium are marked with a letter A on a number. Most often, however, the European numbering system for the international E-road network is used. There is, however, not always a one-on-one relationship between the two numbering systems along the whole length of the highways. A1, Brussels, Antwerp, Breda. A2, Leuven, Lummen, Genk. A3, Brussels, Leuven, Liège, Aachen. A4, Brussels, Waver, Namur, Arlen, Luxembourg. A10, Brussels, Ghent, Bruges, Ostend. A12, Cologne. A13, Antwerp, Beringen, Hasselt, Liège. A14, Lille, Kortrijk, Ghent, Antwerp. A15, Charleroi, Namur, Huy, Liège. A17, Bruges, Kortrijk, Tournai. A18, Bruges, Vennes, Dunkirk. Ringways. The ringways around bigger cities have their own series of numbers. The names start with AR, then a first digit indicating the province, and sometimes a second digit to further differentiate in between different ringways. Some major examples are: R0 is the outer ringway around Brussels. The R20 and R22 are inner ringways around Brussels. R1 is the southern half ringway and R2 is the northern half ringway around Antwerp. R3 is the outer ringway and R9 is the inner ringway around Charleroi. The inner ring is counterclockwise only. R4 is the outer ringway and R40 is the inner ringway around Ghent. R6 is the outer ringway and R12 is the inner ringway around Mechelen. R8 is the outer ringway and R36 is the inner ringway around Kortrijk. R23 is the ringway around Leuven. R30 is the inner ringway around Bruges. National roads. The national roads were renumbered in 1985 according to a national scheme and are identified with the letter N followed by a number. The principal national roads fan out from Brussels, numbered in clockwise order: N1, Brussels, Mechelen, Antwerp; N2, Brussels, Leuven, Diest, Hasselt, Maastricht; N3, Brussels, Leuven, Tienen, Sint-Truiden, Liège, Aachen; N4, Brussels, Waver, Namur, Marche-en-Famenne, Bastogne, Arlin; N5, Brussels, Charleroi, Philippeville; N6, Brussels, Halle, Soignies, Mons; N7, Halle, Ath, Tournai; N8, Brussels, Ninove, Oudenaarde, Kortrijk, Ypres, Vennes, Koksijde; N9, Brussels, Aalst, Ghent, Eeklo, Bruges, Ostend. Secondary national roads intersect these. National roads have an N+1, 2 or 3 digits. National roads numbered with 3 digits are provincial roads, the first number indicating the province in which the road begins. N1XX Province of Antwerpen. N2XX Provinces of Flemish Brabant and Walloon Brabant. N3XX Province of West Flanders. N4XX Province of East Flanders. N5XX Province of Hainaut. N6XX Province of Liège. N7XX Province of Limburg. N8XX Province of Luxembourg. N9XX Province of Namur. Cars. Changes. Between 1993 and 2012 the average age of the passengers' cars registered as running in Belgium increased from just over 6 years and 4 months to 8 years and 17 days. 2012 data for other European countries are not yet available, but in 2010 the average age of car Belgium was 7.9 years against a European Union average of 8.3 years. Government policy provides an important clue as to one reason for the relative newness of the national car park. Despite recent high-profile plant closures by Ford and Renault, Belgium remains an important center for automobile component and passenger car production, with important plants operated by Volvo and Audi, and this is reflected in a relatively benign taxation environment whereby company cars are still a popular and relatively tax-efficient element in many remuneration packages. Water, ports and harbor. Seaports: Antwerp, Port of Antwerp; Bruges, Port of Bruges, Zeebrugge; Ghent, Port of Ghent; Ostend, Port of Ostend. Main inland ports: Brussels, Port of Brussels; Liège, Port of Liège. European portuary context. European Seaports Organization (ESPO), European Federation of Inland Ports (FEPI), Inland Navigation, Europine. 2002 ranking of world ports by tonnage and by container volume. Port ranking. Merchant marine waterways. The Belgian waterway network has 2,043 kilometers, 1,532 kilometers of which in regular commercial use. The main waterways are the Albert Canal connecting Antwerp to Liège, the Ghent-Enzen Canal through the Port of Ghent connecting Ghent with the Westerschelde, the Boudewijn Canal through the Port of Bruges, Zeebrugge connecting Bruges with the North Sea, the Brussels-Charleroi Canal, Brussels-Scheldt Maritime Canal and Scheldt connecting Charleroi to Antwerp, the Nimy-Blatin-Perrons Canal and Scheldt connecting the Borinage to Antwerp, the connection between the North Sea and Antwerp and the connection between Dunkirk and Liège via the Nimy-Blatin-Perrons Canal, the Canal du Centre, the Lower Sambre and the Meuse. Waterways are managed on a regional level. In Belgium, the region of Brussels only managed 14 kilometers of waterways from the Anderlecht Lock to the Vilvoorde Bridge. In Flanders, the management of waterways is outsourced to 4 companies: NV de Scheepvaart, Departement Mobiliteit en Openbaar Werken, Agentschap voor Maritieme Dienstverlening en Kustwaterwegen en Zeekanaal NV, Air Transport. According to the 2009 CIA World Fact Book, there are a total of 43 airports in Belgium, 27 of which have paved runways. Airplane passengers in Belgium can use 5 airports, the largest of which being the Brussels Airport. The other airports are the Ostend-Bruges International Airport, the Brussels South Charleroi Airport, the Liège Airport and the Antwerp International Airport. Other airports are military airports or small civil airports with no scheduled flights. Well-known military airports include the Melsbroek Air Base and the Boven Air Base. Belgium has also one heliport. The Belgian national airline used to be Sabena from 1923 to 2001, until it went into bankruptcy. A new Belgian airline named SN Brussels Airlines was subsequently founded by businessman Etienne Davignon. The company was then renamed as Brussels Airlines in 2006. In 2009, Brussels Airlines was taken over by German airline Lufthansa.